A bit of storytelling. Okay, so generally speaking, Joe, let's get into it. Would you say it's improv comedy, for the most part, can be fun, but it can also come with a specific type of fecal matter aftertaste that I've yet to uncover with any other discipline.
You mean the horror you feel? Have you ever done this after a show that went really well, and even after you're feeling good about it and you go to bed with that feeling of like, oh man, I think I might have this knocked. Somehow you wake up the next day and it's like a hangover of your ego, and suddenly you go, oh my God, that was garbage. Oh no, how did they? Oh, they're going to see through me.
Yes.
And,
oh yeah.
And everything that was good the night before, somehow throughout the night, like in your back brain, you have figured out how everything was terrible. And by the time you get to breakfast, you can't wait to say you and I have breakfast. They're like, you know what, last night's show wasn't really so great when you think about it. And then we run through every thing and each other alive.
Well, and I suspect that there more people are doing that, or maybe they're the unaware people who are not aware of themselves or their surroundings, who maybe aren't doing it and possibly are getting the most out of comedy by not being aware.
Oh, for sure. Look, it's like anything else, right? There are people who are trying their very best and they want to get so, here's the thing, James, as you know, improv was probably, and I didn't start till I'm 40 something. And it was probably the only thing in my entire life that I ever tried to be good at on purpose. Like I was, I was terrible. And it was the only thing I really worked at being good at. And I think there are a certain group of people who go, I finally found something that I care about being good at. And yet it's elusive, right? Even if it is good, people compare it to golf actually, in the fact that you go from like not knowing anything about it to a little bit. So you think I'm built for this. I'm built for this. And then you're crawling out of the sewer for the rest of the time period.
Oh yeah, I think that you have to kind of create a secondary home in the sewer if you want to get good at it. I think you need to become accustomed to the sewer in order to appreciate when you crawl out of it and enjoy the city for a little bit.
Yeah, but at the end of the day,
go back to the sewer.
At the end of the day, that you're taking the manhole back down.
Yeah.
Well, it was nice to be among the normals.
Yeah.
Right? And you go down to your third arm.
I want to specifically talk about crappy shows, Joe, because I think we can break them down quite frankly. Now, I have seen you come off of a show knowing, oh, this was not a good show. Objectively, I can sit in the back with my arms crossed and go, oh, this is a terrible set.
It's a stinker.
It's a stinker. And have you not be affected at all. But then other times I'll see you leave a show that's pedestrian or even decent and then look around and go, hey, where did Joe go? And somebody will be like, oh, you didn't know he drove home. He just left.
You have to remember that I live in Lake Placid and I would do work in Montreal, and I'd stay for a couple nights and teach a class and that sort of thing. And there's one thing that I'm thinking of specifically. It was at the anniversary show, right? The summer anniversary show. And first of all, it's a big deal to be asked to be in the anniversary show. It's so exciting, and they have, or maybe it was Improv. Here's the point.
One of those golden ticket events where you're performing in the same goddamn room that you perform in the other 51 weeks a year.
The night before. I was there the night before. But we had people from Toronto, Burlington, Vermont, coming.
Ottawa,
right? From the Improv Embassy, gracing always. And, is that bad? They're good. Are they close too? Here's the point.
That right? foot's getting closer to the mouth, Joe.
I'm so terrible at it. The stakes have gotten so high. And there are even people who will be like, Coffee Break's my favorite troupe. And I'm like, what? Who, me? But I'm just little old Joe Conto. And I'm getting it all worked up in my head. We do this set. And one of our team members goes, let's be grounded. Okay, just be grounded.
Now I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that this team member has appeared on this show before.
Oh, for sure. So, and this person is all, let's be grounded. Let's just have a good time. Let's be grounded. Myself, I'm like, okay, I'll be grounded. And I forgot what somebody's suggestion was from the audience, some terrible suggestion. And I go out and I've got it all figured out. And I'm being very normal. And then this person who said it was going to be grounded walks on stage and goes, I got too many pies. And I was like, okay, all right. Let me just put those pies down. Okay, so we got pies. You know, like improv, you're like, okay, so I'm somewhere. We have pies. What's the? Oh, they were too hot.
You're trying to make sense of the horrible scene that you're in, and it's only 30 seconds.
We're grounded, and we're doing a set where you're supposed to be being tapped out the whole time. Mm-hmm. And I look at my back line, and they're frozen because it's gotten so terrible, and I'm out there for a full 25-minute set, you know, and it's high stakes. People from all over greater Eastern Canada are there, and I'm looking,
but
and
people
I'm actually
from Vermont aren't gonna like me.
They're not gonna. What if word gets out in Lake Placid? So
they'll never let me back into Arby's.
Exactly. Oh, I wish we had an Arby's. We used to have a Quiznos. That's neither here nor there. So, but you're exactly the point, right? Like everyone's going to laugh at me, but in the wrong way. And it was one of those nights where the lights were set in such a way that you could see the first 3 rows, and the place was actually filled. And you know when you're in the green room and the people before you are killing it, and everybody's hooting and hollering, you're like hot crowd. And we went out there, and people were, you know, the 3 people who you could always hear because they were students and you could recognize that, and they were trying to be supportive. But by the way, if anybody goes to a show and you have a fake laugh that you think is going to be supportive, it's the only thing the improviser hears. And when they hear you above anything else, you just know, oh no, it's so and so.
Well, and I would say I want to bring myself up in this moment. If the theater's silent and I'm the only laugh you're hearing, just know it's not support. I'm specifically laughing at everything happening.
Oh, well, exactly. You're laughing at because you can laugh at the pain of it, right? Mm-hmm. So the end of the show, I'm actually angry at my partners. I'm like, those sons of bitches, they left me out there to dry. Nobody tapped me out. They call, I got your back. Bull crap, right?
Yeah.
So in improv, you often touch each other on the shoulder. I got your back out there.
Yeah, I hate that. I've never cared for it.
I never did it again. In fact, one of the people did it the next show, and I just got to give him one of these. They go, right. So I go off stage, and 2 people from who are well known-ish in Toronto come by, and you know how like when you cross, they're going on, you're going off. The other people, they usually go, good show, great show, really, good stuff, fun stuff. These 2 people walk by. They go, heads down. I go, it isn't just me. And that's when I walked through the curtain, walked across the lobby, walked down the back stairway, you know, the one by the dumpster, the one that nobody uses. I had to step over some trash bags, went out, went right to my car. You know, I was supposed to stay for 2 more nights. Went right to my car, got in my car, didn't say anything to anybody. Just got in, started driving silently. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, shoot. Because, you know, I would keep things at the theater. I go, oh, your shoes are there. I go, well, no, I guess no. I'm never going back there. So why would I need those shoes? And I drove all the way back to Lake Placid that night. I didn't turn on the radio. I didn't a word. It was like I was a dead person who still like knew how to drive just from muscle memory and knew my way back home. I remember going to the border, and the person goes, you know, where were you? I just go, Montreal. What did you do? Nothing. I did nothing. That's what I did. I did nothing. My soul left my body, if that's what you mean. And I drove all the way home, and I remember just getting into bed, and I thought, well, improv was fun. I remember I used to do this thing called improv, and it was fun. I didn't even go back for the rest of improv, that annual thing.
I would like to